Yeah, very happy and very happy about the energy, about how we support each other in a lot of situations. And I said this before the game, I said this after the game. No one expects that we are playing today a perfect game. So, but when you support each other, when you help each other, especially in our defense moments and in our box defending, when you are very clear, then you are able also to win these games with set pieces. And that's very serious, very professional. And that's the reason why I'm very happy that it's a big win for the whole group.
Gary?
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Kyle had his first start since a while. Can you give it about his performance? I thought he looked pretty good out there.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So after this long-term injury, then to play first time, and normally when we are talking about the match plan, then before the game, when we are talking about substitutions during the game, and was more the plan, to be honest, that he's only playing 60 minutes or 65 minutes, but then after 60 minutes he came directly to me and said, no, coach, I want to play until the end. And it was good. And it was the whole time. In his injury during this time, he was very professional every morning with the whole medical stuff. And you can see this then directly to be in today in our defense behavior, and also sometimes some good runs in our offensive play. So really, really good performance. But in my experience, and I was also sometimes injured in a long term, now it's important also to handle his load, because when you are coming back from a long-term injury, then normally the first 2-3 weeks is top, and then you have to handle it, because that hopefully nothing happened with him.
George?
Coach, congrats on a win.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about Noah. You know, he's been playing tremendous, and he finally got his first goal in the MLS. How does that make you feel? You know, you keep having your faith in him, and he's been playing great.
Yeah, but as a center back, it starts with defense behavior. And I had a lot of individual conversations during the week after our DC United game, and this is what I expect then from our players, especially from the center backs, fullbacks, sixth position. First of all, to do our job in our defense structure and our defense behavior. And when we are talking about his performance since the first game here now in this season, he made good steps, especially in this topic. And then you have to be ready in these set pieces as well, especially as a center back. And this is a big step for him, individual. And when you defend very clear, then normally in a whole season you can then maybe score 4, 5, 6 goals after set pieces. So it's good now that we win like this today with the group, with set pieces, and Noah played very well.
Go to Luca.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win. I know you mentioned the importance of set pieces and Noah rising to the occasion as a big way to win the game. But it also seemed that felt a bit lethargic in transition moments and going forward that way in open play. And I was curious if you have anything you saw out there, anything you'd change next week for more of a flow of open play going forward.
No, and I said this on last Thursday in our press conference, and when you have seen the last 4 games of Montreal, it's so difficult to play against them. So in the high press, they have a lot of man-marking situations with the center back step out against Emil, then one center back, and they are very physical, then one center back, the other center back is then against Chupa. So it's very difficult to find the space, and it's not a typical game maybe like we had in this season when we have a build-up situation. Then maybe you can create 3 against 2, 2 against 1 situation. But in this game, it's necessary to have these deep runs behind the center backs of Montreal, and we had good moments. But sometimes, and this is normal because you had not the best feeling, especially after DC United. But this is normal. Our transition moments was much better than some games before, and that's good. And this is what we need. And next Thursday we can talk about Inter Miami. They are playing on Wednesday against. It's on Wednesday the game. Huh?
Vancouver.
On Wednesday against Vancouver. So yeah, it's clear how we have to defend at the end against Suarez, Messi. But now please, a little bit time, and then we can talk on Thursday about Inter Miami.
Michael.
Coach, congratulations on the
Thank
win.
you.
I'm just kind of curious, what was your reaction to the first half? You've been commending Montreal since Thursday. You've been today again. You're commending them. Just what were they doing right to keep you guys from getting shots on target and just disrupting your offense?
No, I had in the first half, I would say after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I had also a good feeling. So we spoke in the halftime. We showed 4 sequences from the tactical point, 1 situation in our defense, in our pressing, that we can stay more in a higher position against Kemper with Wiki as a left winger, and then our transition moments that we stay a little bit more wider with our wingers, and in our build-up, the same what I explained right now, to have these counter movements, and this was the main part. This was not now from the emotional side or something like that, because my feeling was that we were in the game also in the first half. And it's clear with a young group and that you don't have now the best feeling directly in the game after this last game against DC United, because it was very tough, especially Sunday and Monday after the game. But the reaction in the game, and I don't want to talk about the reaction of the last game, the reactions when we made mistakes, and this is what we need. And this is, I'm very proud of the guys, how we handle these situations today.
Over here.
Good evening, Coach. Can you just talk about the center back partnership between Sean Eile and Noah Eile? How important is that partnership for the team? Thank you.
Yeah, today was good. The whole back 4, but we played also with Tim Parker and against Chicago very well. Haki played very well a lot of games for us. Today was the decision because also a little bit from the last season they know each other when it's shifting moments, these situations, to support, to help each other. But it's not only the center backs, what I said, is the whole group, how we support when we lose the second ball directly to have this quick reaction, to run backwards, when we win the second ball directly to run forward. And for sure in these situations, we have to play cleaner in these moments, especially when we have the ball in our transition moments. But this is the next step. Now we have to collect points in our situation. Some injury players are coming back. So, and that's it.
Go to Gary.
Coach, you mentioned that this is relatively a young crew, but we're not talking about game to game, especially after this one. Consistency is what the thing I'm looking for. Yeah. Is it that much of a challenge for you and your group, trying to string wins together, especially when you're trying to translate what is on the training pitch onto the game itself?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that every coach in this world want to have these consistently every Saturday, every Sunday, to see in the highest quality your performance, and that's a topic for sure. That is what we want to improve, what we have to improve, why we are working so hard every day. And the expectation, and I can understand it, and I said this in my broadcast interview on Thursday in the press conference as well. The expectation is now higher. That's clear, because we were very successful last year, and last season we had, after 10 games. Do you know how many points we had last season after 10 games? No, I gave the question. We had 17 points. But the feeling was a little bit different, like we have now. So now it's 15 points, 2 points less than last season. So, but it's clear, consistently is the main part, and we are working for that. The expectation this year? Yeah, but come on, it's a long season. It's a long season, and I don't want to talk now about the championship, about the final or something like that. And in each competition, we want to be very, very successful, and this is our target. And but it makes no sense end of April to talk about we want to be a champion or something. Like, come on, when I say this, it's very easy as a head coach to say we want to be a champion, but on Tuesday is the next training session. This is what we have to show. We have to train like a champion every day. That's the first step, and it is a big step when we are doing that. And when we are playing then game by game, especially next month, very tough, this is what we need.
All right, we're going to try for Zoom. Go to Dan Feuerstein on Zoom.
Please talk about how happy you were with Kyle Duncan's performance going the full 90 after coming back from the ACL injury.
I don't think they
Oh, you had a big celebration last week on your birthday. We had this question. We had this question
You guys
5 minutes
might have
ago.
came in late.
Okay, but so. Yeah, okay. So hopefully I answered the same now. He played very well, and he worked very professional during his injury time. So he did it also this season. In his defense behavior, very active. In his offensive behavior, some good moments. So he played very well.
Voss, I'm going to throw it to you. Don't ask a question that we might have already heard.
Congratulations on the win, Coach. I just wanted to ask you, a bit on maybe what you touched on before, and it has to do with the reaction of your team. We've seen every time that the team loses at home, they've come back with a win. That's 3 times in a row that this has happened. Can you just comment on that aspect of your squad and the resilience to just have a short memory and just deliver a performance in the next game?
Yeah, but so when we prepare the next game, normally when we start to talk about the next opponent, we start most of the time on Wednesday and about match plan and our defense, offensive transition, but then it's not the topic, okay, we have to show the reaction because we lost the last game or home game or something like that, no. So then clear focus on our next target, next opponent, this is our focus. And next game, Inter Miami, big game, it's clear, big game there, and but we have to prepare very serious, and then let's talk next Thursday about the match plan and everything else, what we want to do against Inter Miami.
No, I got to ask you. There's nothing like your first. Talk about your first goal and how's that feel?
No, it felt great. Obviously, the game being a tie as well, it was felt even better. So, it was. I lost a little focus there a few minutes after, so then I had to refocus again, and because there was still a lot of time to go.
Now, can you talk about previously the last game you started off the bench? What were the reasons behind that, and perhaps how important it is for you to be back in the starting lineup because you mean so much to this team?
I feel we have a lot of good players, especially in my position. We have a lot of 4 or 5 really good players, and we have a lot of games coming up. So it was kind of natural that no one's going to play every game in any position. So it was kind of natural to not start that game. And then today I was happy to be back and try to do what I can do for the team.
Your first shot was saved, of course, right on the line, and I know that you do something that you wanted that back. Yeah. How much of a determination to say, okay, second one, this one's mine? How much of that thought process came in, and especially how satisfying it was when it went in at that point?
No, I think we had a great. We have a great coach who helped us with it, Dominic, who helped us with the set piece, and he highlights that a lot. What they try to do, they have a lot of man marking, and I felt that in that first situation, I got kind of an overhand on the guy who was marking me. So then I told I think it was Omar who hit the corner to hit it the same way at the first one, and and then I could score it.
No, we saw what you could do on a set piece, but we also see all your super deep runs, taking shots from the edge of the box. So is that what we can expect next, a goal from open play?
I think you can see in the shot that that's not my best quality. I think the left foot still has some work to do. So I think hopefully it could come, but the left foot has a bit of work to do.
Were you playing that celebration, or did you just come up with it on the fly?
No, I think first it was a little bit on the fly, and then I have a nephew back home who he's 2 years old, so he likes me to do a kind of crab celebration. So I kind of did that for him, and then.
Awesome. Any more questions?
I asked Coach about your goal, and his response was, "That was great that you scored on a set piece, but he needs the defending. He needs it back there." Can you just talk a little bit about what's happening back there? You know, you finding your groove.
stuff like that?
No, I think as you said, that's the main thing. That's what is my job, or all the defenders' job is to defend as best as possible. And of course, if you can come up with a set piece goal like that, that's of course what's beneficial. But I think, as you said, the main thing is that we have to defend. And I think today we did a pretty good job, all the team, to defend as well.
Thank you. Talk a little bit about how important this was for you and your recovery for this to be able to play the way that you did and as long as you did in this game.
I mean, it was a great matchup. We had a great game. We came out here and got the 3 points. Is what we're supposed to do. So I'm happy to be back after 7 months. I couldn't have done that without God, my friends, my family, and obviously my teammates. So glad to be back.
So Sandro said that he wanted to lighten the load a little bit, and then you said I wanted to go the entire way.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that? It's your first game back, so you're probably trying to be a little careful.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to be a little careful coming back at 7 months, but it felt like I had the energy to go. I was on the field. I looked at him. I was like, Coach, let me run it. So he let me play the 90 minutes, and I'm glad we got the win.
Kyle, at the end there, it was you, Tim Parker, Sean Nealis. It felt like 2019 Red Bulls out there for the end. Just talk about what it's like to play with those guys again, and it was great to see the three of you all together.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to see Tim back here, Red Bull legend, honestly. And, Nealis, he's been around. Great, two great center backs, and glad to be playing with them as the defensive line, and it's good, man.
Kyle, how important it is for you to start today and the moment that you've been waiting for quite a while?
Honestly, I'm very happy to start today. There's a lot of depth in the team, and Coach could have won with anybody on the team, honestly. He chose me, and I had to step up to the plate and perform today. So I'm glad he did that, and glad to be back on the field.
And what's next?
What's next? Miami. 3 points in Miami.
Kyle, today was Kids Day at the stadium. Do you have maybe a message for the kids who are possibly here that could be dealing with different kinds of adversity, maybe not an injury, maybe something like at school or whatever it is, maybe some advice that you could possibly give to them?
I mean, sometimes you might feel like things aren't going your way, but just keep your head down, keep moving forward, and God will provide that path for you.
I saw you last week. You were kind of taking photos with a girl that was crying. You brought her a smile. Today, you must have, for all the time you played and as well as you played, it didn't look like you had a second off. Must have brought big smiles to the coaching staff. How gratifying is it to you to have been able to go so long so well?
Oh, definitely. I didn't even think I could go 90 minutes today, but I felt good, like I said, and Coach let me, go 90 minutes, and happy to get the 3 points.